You see where I'm going with this? See, that's why I chose to go the mental health route, right? Some people say we lazy, we don't do much work, right? We didn't gotta get nobody no IVs or anything like that. But some of the time, depending on where you work, we put our bodies on the line. People be getting hurt around there, right? Some of them patients be getting irate, slamming people, punching walls and stuff.
Surprise,
You're welcome, you're welcome. Here's another glimpse in the life of Mr. Seldom. On a mission to heaven so he can tell me well done. He got all my secrets, he promised he never tell none. You're welcome, there's no other feeling like it.
What's good, everyone? It's Jamal Haki, channel dedicated to helping individuals unlock the will to conquer imagination. And if you truly believe in self, as well as the content being posted here on this channel, then we can indeed help turn the you that's you into something more valuable. Now, if you're looking at the title of the video and you see what I'm about to talk about, then you're gonna know the real reason why I chose to become a psychiatric mental health nurse. So here's the thing, right? If you don't already know and you've been subscribing to the channel and doing all those things, here's the kicker, right? I am a psychiatric mental health registered nurse, right? I recently graduated in 2021, summer 2021, and I've been currently working as a psychiatric mental health nurse, right? Let me tell you, right, the real deal reason. I got some funny stories, I got some interesting things to touch on, but for starters, let's talk about the serious things, right? So the serious things in terms of why I really chose to become a psychiatric mental health nurse. First things first, I originally went to school with a biochemistry major, right? I'm not sure if I actually shared that on this channel, but when I originally went to school, I wanted to be a neuroscientist, right? I wanted to study the human mind, the human brain, how it works, how it functions, right? I wanted to just dive as deep as possible because one of the things that was always kind of shared to us is that people are only using 10% of their brains. Humans are only using, and I'm like, why in the world are we only utilizing 10% of our brains? And then I'm starting hearing information about, well, technically we do use more, or we can use more. It's only about 10% at a time, right? There's different parts of the brain that we use, right? From the temporal lobe, the frontal lobe, the occipital lobe, and then you got like the limbic system, you name it, right? And so I'm like, this is all interesting, but I still wanted to know more about the inner workings of the brain, how it functions, right? Things pertaining to like the way we think, how we think, like why exactly is my thinking so much different than this person right here, yet we're just as human as one another. I wanted to really like dive deep into that stuff. And so that really didn't pan out because I had a lot on my plate at the time. I don't want to make too many excuses, right? But let's just say, you know, I was acting very stupid with basically how I was managing my time. I wasn't managing my time too wisely, but let's just say I got a better grasp on that as I got older, right? First things first, going into college, straight out of high school, schools need to do a better job of like really talking about that, right? I don't think at that age people really know what they truly want to do. And so if you rush into something too soon, you may get yourself into some debt. And that debt is no joke. Nope. So still bridging on point number one, I originally went to school for biochem. Transitioning, right, fast forward, I went back to school and I said, you know what? I still want to do things pertaining to health. I still want to do things pertaining to the brain. What exactly can I dive into that's going to allow me to do those things, right? As I got older, I got a little bit wiser, right? I heard about nursing. I work with nurses. I've been in business with nurses, right? And the fact that they had the time to do business, the business that I was doing, whether I was struggling with it or not, but I learned a lot of information. The fact that they was able to do that and still work where they was able to work, that told me one thing. That told me, one, nurses made pretty good or decent income, and two, nurses had a lot of time on their hands to do other things outside of them just working at a hospital, right? And so that's when I chose to really dive into this whole nursing path, right? I was like, I'm going to get my BSN and I'm going to become a registered nurse. And here I am thinking, hospital, yeah, that's cool, that's fine. I don't mind working at the hospital, but based off of things that I was already pretty skilled at doing and working, right? I was already working with mental health. I was already tied to mental health and connected to mental health. And so I wanted to be able to bridge what I was doing at the time before I started school with nursing. And Lord and behold, there's mental health, right? There's mental health nurses out there, right? The psychiatric mental health direction. And so the moment I found out about that, I was like, yo, why would I not want to do that, right? That sounds so dope. And it allowed me to be able to tap into a particular direction, a particular field that still does things pertaining to the brain. But now we're talking about mental health, right? And still to some degree, it still allows me to get to know a little bit better how the brain works, how it operates, how medications that individual is taking, right? The mechanism of action, how it's working to affect the body, the brain, serotonin, right? Dopamine, you name it. How are these SSRI medications affecting the person? Maybe they need an SNRI, or you know what? These antidepressants is not really that effective. What are these coping skills like? What I specialize in, therapeutic communication, that's my forte, right? It was a lane for me to go down. This is all technically still stemming from the first thing and kind of bridge into. This is all the main reason why I chose to become a psychiatric mental health registered nurse, right? What's some other reason why I chose to it? I mean, I'm gonna be honest, man. Even though I knew I wanted to do it already, what really sealed the deal was the fact that the facility or the mental health component of being a nurse is very separate from the medical side, right?
What do you mean by that?
Typically, majority of new grads, they go the medical surgical route, Med-Surg, right, for short. So that relies a lot on like your adult health and things of that nature that you're learning in school. And don't get me wrong, I was good in adult health, but it wasn't necessarily something that really woke me up, right? I love to learn. That's what woke me up. But the actual adult health and going that direction did not. I wasn't inspired by that. But what I was inspired by was mental health. And the moment I knew that I could work in the field that's completely separate from Med-Surg, right? I'm working in a facility where the only thing that's pertaining to the facility is working with mental health patients. And on top of that, the patient population that I'm working with, they're not tied to a damn bed. Let me repeat that again. All right? I want y'all to really listen in to me, because mental health has a bad rep out here. It has a bad rep out here, right? We got to put some respect on mental health nurses out here, all right? Perfect. I want y'all to really listen in to me, right? When you go to the hospital, cool. You in your medical facility, right? You got the nice funding. You got the money in your facility. Things are looking good. The machines is looking good. Maybe the food in your cafeteria is even better, right? But here's the thing. My patients is different from your patients, all right? I want y'all to really step in a little bit closer and really listen to what I'm saying, right? Step in and come in and close the door, right?
Or stop it.
I'm talking today. Oh! See, when you in that medical facility, your patient that you taking care of is glued to that damn bed. They're glued to the room, essentially. There's different medical issues and things, and there's people for that. If you like doing that, that's cool. If you like rocking out with that, that's cool. But me, in my situation, I love the opportunity to be able to communicate with moving bodies, with people that's able to function, but the only thing that they may be having a problem with is just their mind. They're not really having problems with their legs, right? They're ambulatory, right? They can able to ambulate, right? They can move, communicate, come up to the nursing station. They come to me, right? Sometimes they come to me too many times.
You think I'm playing?
But they come to me and I'm able to care for them. And I can come to them. They can kick in and chill in the day room. They can communicate with other patients so they don't feel alone in their room. I'm gonna repeat that again, all right? The patients can communicate with other patients so they don't feel alone. Even if they don't, in their situation, not able to get visitation at the moment due to the pandemic or the plandemic, right? Whoever I'm talking to, they still able to have some life because they're able to socialize with other people. While people in the medical facility, they in that room by themselves, isolated. I'm gonna repeat that again.
Perfect.
Not perfect in terms of good, perfect in terms of not good. They're isolated. They're in their room alone. And what are some of these nurses doing? I was in clinical. I know what it's like in those medical facilities. A lot of those nurses are not going into that room communicating with those patients. They're not talking to those patients. Those patients may be withering away. They're sad. Some of these facilities, they're dying, right? So, although there's a place for people that's willing to work in those facilities, for me personally, that's not a place for me, right? I'm a person that has a lot of energy. And the energy that I bring, some people in those facilities, they may not want that. I know they need it, but I know they may not want it. I may get pushed to the side. I don't need that right now, Jamal. We don't need that in this room. I want to kick it in, but you need that energy because you're dying right now. So at least for me, when I'm communicating with the patient population that I'm talking to, I'm able to bring some life to them. I'm able to utilize some therapeutic communication. Rather, they're able to really hone in on it at the moment. At least the more that I communicate with them, they get a better picture of it, right? You see where I'm going with this? See, that's why I chose to go the mental health route, right? Some people say we lazy. We don't do much work, right? We ain't got to get nobody no IVs or anything like that. But some of the time, depending on where you work, we put our bodies on the line. People be getting hurt around there, right? Some of them patients be getting irate, slamming people, punching walls and stuff.
Surprise, motherfucker.
And of course, you know, when it comes to healthcare, a lot of women is working in there. So me as a dude, I'm able to step up and help out. I don't mind going to cold bursts. I don't mind having to put, use CPR on someone. But I'd rather use therapeutic communication, right? I'd rather use verbal de-escalation, right? Instead of resorting to non-verbal physical de-escalation. Because the fact that we're able to utilize that, the fact that I'm able to communicate with people like that to talk them off the ledge, damn, that feel good. Oh, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, perfect. It feel good to do that. It feels more satisfying. It feels more rewarding. And sometimes, even though in mental health, right, you may not get the full impact of how powerful and how helpful you have been because it takes time, versus with adult health, you can see someone get healed, and when they get discharged, they know that when they get discharged, something is improving because it's something medical related. But when it's something mental related, a little bit harder, a little bit deeper, right? Rather it's some somatic symptoms or something that is literally there. Hallucinations, auditory, visual, you name it, but it's still there, lingering. But it's about doing things to mitigate it, to decrease it, right? To get them to their baseline in order for them to function. But let's dive into some other reasons why I chose to become a psychiatric mental health. Here's the thing. There's actually a couple of options that you could choose when it comes to the mental health route, right? You actually can work in a hospital in terms of a medical facility doing mental health, right? Some hospitals, they have a mental health component in their ER, meaning that some mental health nurses actually work within the emergency room, right? So you're technically still in the thick of it. May not be a separate facility, you may be in the thick of it still, right? I don't know if I like that too much. You still too close to that action. And although I personally don't mind it, that's not really the direction where I want to go when it comes to my nursing journey anyway. There's another route as well. For a second and for a moment, I actually thought, you know what? I kind of want to do the mixture between Med-Surg and mental health, right? Because the whole thing was, you don't want to lose your nursing skills. You don't want to lose your nursing skills. You don't want to lose your medical nursing skills. That's what they kept trying to tell you. They keep recommending. Maybe you want to go the medical route first and then transition to mental health. No.
Or stop it.
No, that's not what I want to do.
Nope.
I know what I want to do. But let me tell you though, I still gave it a try. So I did some job shadowing. I shadowed at different places, right? I even shadowed on a Psych Med-Surg unit. I'm going to repeat that again. I shadowed on a Psych Med-Surg unit. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is dope. It's a medical facility, but it's psych proof, right? The sinks is psych safe. The doors is psych safe. There's no antennas hanging about and around so someone can wrap something around their neck and do something to themselves. There's no way for someone to harm themselves because it's psych safe, and you can still utilize medical teaching, medical nursing, right? Things that you learn deeply in nursing school. But let me tell you something. I picked the right day to show up. Because on the day that I show up to shadow, man, oh man, there was somebody acting butt wild. And I mean literally butt wild. Hold on. Not buck wild. They was acting butt wild, right? I'm talking about the person stripped off all their clothes, got butt naked, and they was ripping out all their IVs and everything that was connected to them. And I'm thinking in my head like, damn.
Perfect.
Not perfect. Hold on, damn.
Or stop it.
I don't think I want to deal with that. As a matter of fact, I was really thinking, why exactly would I really want to deal with that? I'm going to be dealing with a raging, irate medical person that's dealing with some mental health issues. And here's the wildest thing. Because sometimes you look at this as what comes first, the chicken or the egg? I want y'all to really listen to me, right? What came first, the chicken or the egg? Because if you take care of somebody's mental issues, right? Or actually, flip it. If you take care of someone's physical issues, they wouldn't feel the way that they feel. Let me repeat that again. If you take care of someone's physical issues, someone's being in pain, they won't feel the way they feel. Someone can literally become depressed simply because of the pain that they're experiencing. It's causing them to feel a certain way, right? Right. So when you are able to care for someone in a way to mitigate that, to decrease that, to make them a little bit more healthy, right? To make them feel better, mentally they're going to start to feel better. Some of the time, the pain that we feel is based off of how we feel internally. So if you can actually talk someone off the ledge with therapeutic communication to bring their pain from 10 out of 10 to 6 out of 10. I've literally done this before. I've had people come up to me, man, my pain is an 8 out of 10, Jamal. I'm going to be honest. My pain is a 10 out of 10. I feel like I'm being mauled by bears.
Oh, is that so?
But here's the thing. You have that communication. You get them laughing a little bit. You talk to them. You reason with them. All of a sudden, that pain is a 6 now. That pain is a 5 now, right? What is it? Guided imagination, right? Anticipatory, was it guidance, or like distracting them from the pain in itself, right? Redirecting them, talking to them about coping skills that they can utilize, right? Watching TV, drawing, you name it. There's things that we can do on our end as psychiatric mental health registered nurses to help the people get over that hump. So I ain't dealing with people that's stripping butt-ass naked, running through the halls, or ripping out IVs, causing a whole bunch of ruckus that may be disrupting the milieu, because we ain't got time for that. That's pretty much it for the video, y'all. If you like everything that you heard, the reasons why I personally chose to become a psychiatric mental health nurse, then definitely leave some in the comment section. It's your boy Jamal Haki, channel dedicated to helping individuals unlock the will to conquer imagination. If you truly believe in self, as well as the content being posted here on the channel, if we can indeed help turn the you that's you into something more valuable. Now, you already know what to do, man. Leave some in the comment section for your boy, and I may have a quality answer for you guys. So until then, I look forward to talking to you guys on the next video. So without further ado, peace out.
It's the act of God. I used to act the fool, but now I act in movies. Actually, I'm just making moves. We still making music. Tell you about my past to secure my future. I'm all in my bag. Flow like a computer. That's a humble brag.